Hello and a warm welcome to all of you piano lovers all over the world, amateur pianists like myself. Certainly we would have all liked to be concert pianists and play like concert pianists, but it is amateur piano lovers like ourselves who fill the concert halls of the world, who keep concert pianists in business, and who keep piano manufacturers and piano dealerships alive. So we play a very, very valuable role in the life of this beautiful instrument that we all love. Now today I am going to make a video on a Chopin Nocturne. And a Chopin Nocturne is a little bit more than just an intermediate level piece. It's more like an advanced level piece. And the last several videos I've made have been intermediate level pieces. So I've been very comfortable making them. So today I'm a little bit more anxious, but I am making this especially for one of my subscribers. He has his own channel called Pianoforte, which is an excellent channel and I highly recommend it. The difference between my channel and their channel is they show their hands, or well, he or she, I think I'm more comfortable using the singular pronoun. He or she shows his hands from above, the camera is from above, and does not speak. So these are the two principal differences. But they have beautiful hands and play beautifully. I really recommend that channel to you. It's called Pianoforte. So this is for Pianoforte. I am honoring your request. You asked me to make a video on this. So here we are. So the F minor Nocturne of Chopin is Opus 55. It is the first of two nocturnes of Opus 55, and Chopin made it when he was 34 years old in 1843, which means he had only about another 6 years, not even 6, 5 years left to live. He was 33, 34. He died at 39. So in a word, he composed it when he was at the height of his powers, and it was dedicated to his student Jane Stirling, who was a devoted student of Chopin. She had come all the way from Scotland to Paris to study with him, and she was from this great Scottish clan of, the Stirlings, who were descended from the first king of Scotland. And what I would like to say is, it is, of course, rather sad, it's melancholy. So what tempo should we play at? Chopin has written Andante. I have set a metronomic speed of 60 to the quarter note, which I find just right. So in other words, 1 second per beat. The other thing is, Chopin rarely repeats himself as often as he does here. He doesn't let go of this theme for 1.5 pages and repeats it altogether 4 times, and which is very rare for him to do that. And however, there are ornaments, and even though he repeats the theme 4 times, Chopin never says the same thing twice in exactly the same thing, in the same way. So for instance, he does the first time, right? And the second time he does And the fourth time, when he comes to the same place, he does so. So always there are slight tweaks and differences, especially watch out for the ornaments, because that's where he mostly makes the changes. Now this theme has a second part in the tonic major. So, of course, I looked it up a little bit on YouTube, and I found that Horowitz makes horrible changes in tempo, and I would certainly not recommend that any of us do what Horowitz does in this nocturne. Of course, Horowitz is Horowitz. He has his own personality. He is unique. But it is better to follow the example of Clara Schumann, whose playing was always called nobly beautiful and poetic. And Chopin himself had loved Clara Schumann's playing of his own music when she was still a young unmarried girl, and she was Clara Wieck. And so, you know, Clara kept a steady tempo, and that's what gave nobility and dignity to her playing. In fact, of the Chopin Nocturnes on YouTube, and you have the world's greatest pianists playing, I have said before, and I will say it again, my function is to make video tutorials, right? I'm not here to perform. You have the greatest pianists in the world performing this piece for you on YouTube. And I particularly recommend the audio recording of Arthur Rubinstein. Unfortunately, they're not video recordings because they were made before videos became common and long before YouTube. So the Nocturne is in three parts. There's the sad theme, then in the middle there's an explosion, a very stormy explosion. So, got too excited. So, you see, this explosion is what made André Gide, the famous French author, call Chopin a cannon buried in flowers. Because from this melancholy theme, which goes on for 1.5 pages, a cannon explodes from underneath the flowers. So I think it's a very apt image, a cannon buried in flowers. And then the third part, the theme comes back, but now extremely highly ornamented. So a lot of spot practice will be needed. So I will play the first part without interruption. Now notice that the ornaments are different, you know. So for instance, becomes even more than that. Right? So, let's play the first part. And I'll give you a little tip. If you find the explosion part and the next 2 pages too difficult, don't refuse to play this nocturne for yourself. At least play the first 1.5 pages. It will give you great satisfaction. Now, also. Okay, now we begin. Where you can stop, but don't refuse to learn the whole thing, because later on it becomes much more difficult. Now this brings us to the explosion. So I must tell you, and you will notice this yourself, when you listen to the great pianists, they do a much greater accelerando, because Chopin has written più mosso, faster, but faster can mean anything. How much faster? We play the principal theme at 60 to the quarter note, so in the faster I am playing at 92. Which is 50% faster than the theme. But they go faster because virtuosos have technique to burn. So if you play a little faster than 92 also, if you can play that cleanly and well, no problem, I would say go for it. But otherwise, even if you can't play at 92, if you want to play at 80, it's all right. Just enjoy the music. Now it continues with... because this is a tutorial video, I would like to say that from measure 57 onwards, practice the left hand slowly and thoroughly first, so that the playing doesn't become sloppy. Some of them are quite awkward to play actually. So even start with and so on, and then you have. This one particularly is awkward and one can mess up on that. And then you can play both hands together. Feel the distress and you put the distress across. Now I'll skip a few measures and I'll come to the descending run. So once again. So that again is spot practice you can do. Practice it slowly 20 times, as many times as you need to. Then he continues. So you have this sequence of chords you can first do only with the right hand. Here there is an enharmonic change. He has written A flat and D natural, and then G sharp and D natural. So what we first perceive as a diminished chord becomes an E7 chord. So just notice that enharmonic change. It's so clever and it's so wonderful. Now, right? And then the theme comes back. So let's do that again. Once again. Oh, here it is. Start on the upper C. Twice started on the lower C, and that's why I had to stop twice. Now, you see, this is maddeningly complicated and extremely beautiful. So why do we slog at it? Because it is so beautiful. We love it because it is so beautiful. We work at it because it is so beautiful. We love it and we work at it and we want to play it because it does something for our souls. It gives us a happiness that nothing else on earth can give us. Now then it gets stormy. That was measures 85, 86. 86, 87, 88. Now here there is an important melody in the left hand. And I play all of those notes with my thumb. And only the last two B flats with my second finger. So then you get now Chopin releases the tension by going into the major. Isn't that ascending F major and marvelous? Now, of course, you do it all with one pedal. Don't lift the pedal for 3 lines. And yes, he has written accelerando, and here I made the accelerando simply because I was able to. And then this little sprinkling of raindrops on the still surface of a pond. Now, actually, I counted, it's to be played 7 times. But please don't worry about playing it exactly 7 times every time. It's just create the effect. Now, after all these beautiful effects, Chopin gives a very macho ending. A very long fermata at the end. Enjoy the vibrations coming from your piano, you know. No, I mean, Chopin gives us all the beauty of the piano. Remember, the last 3 lines are in F major, so he ends with a tierce de Picardy. Even though the Nocturne is in F minor, and he ends in F major. And when you have that happening, when you a tierce de Picardy, you always think of Bach. And Chopin adored Bach. He used to play the preludes and fugues of Bach, sometimes half a dozen of them at one lesson for a princess. And when the Princess Czartoryska said to Chopin, when he played her about half a dozen preludes and fugue from the Weltemperichtes Klavier, she said, "Maestro, I must compliment you on your retentive memory." And Chopin said, "But this one cannot forget." Well, it's easy for him to say because he was Chopin. But what he's trying to say, what he's conveying is, this is so beautiful and so great. I mean, you know, this is something that you adore, that one adores. So anyway, so here is this tribute to Bach, as he often does in many of his compositions. He ends with a tierce de Picardy, and that is a bow in the direction of Bach. So I do believe that I have said everything that I wanted to say in this tutorial. Of course, as usual, I had made notes when I was thinking about it and preparing it. And then I forgot, of course, I just refer to them. Just don't want to leave. So I think I have said everything that I wanted to say. So please enjoy playing this tutorial. And Pianoforte channel, thank you for asking me to do this video, and I hope it will be helpful. And thank you for your kind comments on my channel and for watching my channel. And that goes for all of you. Please keep your comments coming. Our piano family must talk to one another. We must get to know one another. We come from so many different countries, as far-flung as Korea and Mongolia, to South America, to Scotland, England, Central Europe. I just love it. I just love it that we are all talking to one another and inspiring each other. So thank you for watching, and until next time.